today, let's focus on nutrition and the need for the country to have what is described as a nutrient profiling model. What is that?
Thank you so much, Chris. But I think before I go into the technical definition, I'll just pick it from where you've stopped on when people think that we are overmaking it, or maybe we are prophets of doom. Not only you, people have come to me and like, Kabanda, you are overdoing it. One time, I promised the parents who have obese children, I'm very sorry to be speaking about children like that I'll sue them. And you cannot just imagine how many backlashes that I got. You can't take away your poverty. If we have our money, we'll eat it. But Chris, we are under a crisis, and my heart and my organization, Center for Food and Adequate Living Rights, we are not settling yet, and we will not. We are a civil society organization, and we will work with whoever is possible to make sure that at least those who care to listen should listen. Now, we have a recent report which has indicated that 89% of Ugandans are in a danger of getting non-communicable diseases because of food, the food environment. That when you wake up, what you eat and how you eat it is likely to cause damage to yourself. And this is a very deep problem, because food will not only take your life, but it cripples you financially. Even those people who think they have money, they end up into huge hospital bills because their children are over in hospitals, and including them. We have recently, if people think that we are just here to pass time, there is recently a lady who was over the news, whose limbs were amputated because of diabetes. So we are not talking about something that is very far away from you. Today, as you wake up, the first thing that you'll think about is food. By the way, even picking your toothpaste, when you are brushing your teeth, don't you find that it is sweet? Do you know the sweeteners that are in the toothpaste? So these are some of the things that we now want to be alert about. You've just talked about yogurt, and I've just remembered 2 days ago I had spent a full day without eating because it is also healthy.
Were you fasting, or the economy had been
No, it was a spiritual fasting. Not even a health fasting. So, but sometimes when you are hungry, you can run out of ideas, because the food market in Uganda does not give you healthy alternatives. I entered a supermarket and I was like, let me pick yogurt. There is a new brand, I'll not mention it. I just picked and I was like, okay, let me take this. But before, the urge was too much because I'm hungry. I want to eat. And this is where we lose it most of the time, because you need to fill up yourself. The satiety levels are very low. But I was like, let me read first. And then when on reading, they at least for them, they had put that there are sugars, added sugars. And what shocked me, there are even artificial thickeners. Artificial thickeners. So in my head, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Yogurt by default should be thick. You understand? But these guys have even added an artificial thickeners. What are these? I was like, no, yes, I have bought, but I'm putting it in a dustbin. I can't give it to even anyone. So that alone, I wanted to start with that to just give a framework of our discussion today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, dear Ugandans, the food environment, the food market, the food industry is contributing to your death, is contributing to the disease burden that you have in your household, and it is also contributing to killing down your legacies. Because if our children are not feeding well, we do not get, the posterity that we are looking at. Today, we are here to discuss and call upon government, particularly Ministry of Health, to quickly work on what we call the nutrient profiling model. Many people have been asking us, okay, Kabanda, shouldn't we eat anything? Because it seems everything it
is making us sick.
Yes, it's everything. Every time you come up to speak, it's as if we shouldn't eat anything. The thing is, if someone told you don't eat anything, they are wrong. Because our bodies function on energy.
That is right.
And this energy is got from food. We need the salt, we need the sugar, we need the fat in our bodies to function well. But the challenge is that the natural food has its regulated sugars or food components.
That is right.
For example, it is healthy for you to eat the fruit the way it is, other than getting the juice. Because when you only extract juice, you throw away the fiber that was naturally blended with the sweetness to manage the breakdown of these nutrients to circulate into your body. But here, when you get the juice, you drink direct nutrients. Even if you've not added sugar, you've already done a process that has altered some of the components of the food, because now you're throwing away the fiber, from this fruit. Now, what happens in most cases, the industry or food manufacturers do not stop at that level. Beyond that level, they go further. Because, Chris, let's get a bit slow. Let me just pick, for example, a fruit called mango. If you extract juice out of it, you throw away the fiber. Okay, maybe up to that level, it is still healthy because you are taking juice. But you have done a process that is exposing you directly to the nutrients, and you are not helping the nutrients to be broken down at a speed that was designed by nature. That's number one. Then when it goes to when it goes to the industry, they don't stop there. Sometimes the industry is not even giving you the fruit pulp. They even take away that and they label it mango juice, when in actual sense they are synthetic food colors and flavors. You can actually smell mango in that particular thing that you are taking into your body, but there is no mango at all. It is just they picked minerals somewhere, synthetics, because now there is advanced technology which can give them all this. Okay, if they've been so lenient with you and maybe they have extracted the juice, what they do, they add sugar. You understand? And this is not natural sugar. It is artificial sugar, or they have extracted it from sugar cane and they've gone ahead to manufacture and add many things, because first of all, they must look at profit. They don't care. It is not about your health. Dear Ugandan, who is picking any sugar-sweetened non-alcoholic beverage? And I'm very, I'm very careful when I'm making these statements. Now, because the industry does not care about my health, but about their profit, because the industry has gone ahead to either use artificial synthetic materials to bring something that looks like food before me, or because the industry has gone ahead to pick a natural product, but they have taken it through levels of industrial process, and maybe by the time it comes to my table, it has been altered gravely. There needs to be a government action of telling me that these nutrients must be at this level. So what we call a nutrient profiling model, it helps the population to look at a product and they will know, okay, in these 100 milligrams or milliliters, sorry, or 100 grams of bread, I should expect less than 6 grams of sugar. But you see, the industry does not even tell you how many grams of sugar they've added. If they are so good to you, they will say sugar. There is sugar in here. But they'll never even tell you the amount of sugar that is there. So what the nutrient profiling model does, it gets all the nutrients, it gets the food the food types, and then it profiles the nutrients.
All right, what you speak about is very pertinent, but it also kind of reveals what is no doubt a huge logistical task for the regulator, in this case the Ministry of Health. Do we have a nutrition department that is specifically designed to look at the labeling and the content of some of the products on the market? Have you interfaced with these officials?
Yes, we have a nutrition division in the Ministry of Health specifically to deal with this particular issue.
Do they have a lab that also investigates the content that many of the manufacturers are putting on the market?
Yes, for that I think they work with the Government Analytical Laboratory. Yeah, because it is a government agency also. Right. Yes.
Yeah, there is a nutrient profile model that was developed by the World Health Organization Regional Office for Africa in collaboration with member states and the Department of Nutrition for Health and Department in Geneva. It seeks to support countries in their efforts to control obesogenic food environments and promote healthy diets. The primary focus being protecting children from the marketing of unhealthy foods and non-alcoholic beverages. Now, before you expound on what kind of crisis we are in, there is primary focus on protecting children.
Yes.
And many households find themselves in a bit of a dilemma. They need to ensure that children are feeding as happily as they want. That is important. Yeah. There are parents who are more concerned about the fact that the child is happy to what they have consumed, not the content of what they have consumed. And that is a bit of a problem. Has the Ministry of Health, in your collaboration, in your interface with them, adopted the measures by the World Health Organization, or we need to amplify it further on Morning at NTV?
Okay, we have interacted with officers, at least at the division level, and there is already a draft.
There is a draft
of the nutrient profiling model. And when you read the draft, you realize that they really picked a lot of information from the Africa model, which was developed by World Health Organization. Yeah. What we need to ask them is to expedite this process, because when the Africa model was being developed, the test countries were Uganda. Uganda was part of the countries where they tested the model. And the only thing we needed to do, in fact we did not even to take a lot of time, we just needed to have a Uganda model to just add a few other products that are not in the Africa model. So what we want to ask ministry to do is to expedite this process, and for us as civil society, we are here to work with you such that Ugandans have this model. Yes, and maybe Chris, you've talked about the issue of children. Yes, correct. Children are particularly endangered because the food industry targets them specifically because of three reasons. One, children have money. Children have money. Anytime I visited I understand what my saying. Brothers, you give them money. The parents give them money.
Of course.
And the children do not yet understand the commercial intent of industries. Have you watched fizzy drinks adverts on TV when they dance, or when someone takes a particular product and then they on the bike they fly? And the children will be asking for those products because the children are not yet of age to know that this is a commercial, path.
That is right.
And you see, another thing, when you learn something as a child, you practice it. The likelihood of practicing it when you're an adult is very high.
Very high.
So the industries are targeting children. This is why you'll find some products are particularly, for example, Chris, let me tell you, I doubt there is a particular product of a cereal. I don't want to name it here because I'm on NTV.
That is right.
But it is for children. You'll not find adults eating it. But there's too much salt. Excess salt for these children.
Yeah, I'll be very, very specific. Sometimes you might not want to talk about it, but as a journalist, many times there are things you find on the market you're buying for a child, but when you test it yourself, you can't take it in. And you get to wonder, if you can't imbibe on it, how do you expect it to go? And you're comfortable as a father, you're comfortable as a mother for that particular product to go into your child's body.
Last time,
are we wired wrongly, or I don't know how basically to address this particular question, but very quickly, since we are out of time, what is the way forward with regard to the nutrient profiling model?
Okay, the way forward is simple. We are appealing to the nutrition division in the ministry, because I know, Chris, it is a process. Government issues, or if you want a policy or a plan or a model like this, it is not something that you wake up one day and say, okay, give me this, because there are many stakeholders in the ministry. So we are appealing to you to expedite the process and get this nutrient profiling model. And for us, we think that having two models is it will create many gaps, because the ministry was working on one for children and another for front of the pack. So we want to appeal to you that we get this model such that Ugandans are saved from dying because of the cancers, cardiovascular diseases, and diabetes. Thank you so much.
I would be remiss if I add anything to that. David Kabanda, Executive Director at the Center for Food and Adequate Living Rights. Many thanks for the perspective, but most importantly,
thank you, Chris,
bringing us up to speed with the things that we ought to have done a long time ago. Mind what you eat. Now, if you have a little bit of caution on what you consume, why wouldn't you care what your child does consume? That is the big question of the day.